You are watching the Western Athletic Conference on ESPN+. A good old crosstown matchup rivalry tonight. D3 McMurry inside Moody Coliseum taking on the Abilene Christian Wildcats. And we welcome you courtside inside Moody Coliseum. Chris Jarrett, Jaden West with you. Jaden, let's talk about this game a little bit. Two teams that maybe 10 minutes separated. D3 McMurry, Abilene Christian happy to be home after taking on TCU.
Yeah, this is a matchup we've seen over the last few years, and ACU has come up on the top side of that matchup. Last game out, the Wildcats, ACU was at TCU, in which they did take a loss, but they really fought back in that game, and Coach Goodenough was really proud of their way that her team showed some grit and some toughness. So we look at today, and we're looking forward to this crosstown matchup, good old rivalry between ACU and McMurry. Should be a really good one when you look at these two coaches and you look at these two impact players that we have for tonight's matchup. Let's start first with Bella Earl. Back-to-back triple doubles for her earlier in the season. The rebounds per game, points per game, lighting it up in the category with a strong field goal percentage as well, giving the Wildcats about 34 minutes a game. Jaden, let's take a look at the guard/forward, that stretch for Emily Holland for McMurry. Yeah, the junior here out of McMurray, averaging a good amount of minutes coming off. Big starter here for this McMurray team. Just over 16 points per game, big score, big on offense, and they kind of run through the offense through Holland here. Big rebound also, good on the boards, and shooting really well at that 47% mark. So look for Holland to make a big impact for McMurray today. We'll be seeing a lot of last names tonight in an active matchup. For the third member of our broadcast crew, let's send it down on the sideline to Joshua Barner. Joshua?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, so taking a look at this roster for Abilene Christian University, there are 4 players that are really leading the way for this team. These 4 players are averaging over 10 points per game, with Peyton Hull leading the charge with an average of 17.6 points per game. Together, these players account for over 70% of all points scored by the Wildcats so far this season. Additionally, each of them are also in double digits with assists so far this season, with junior guard Bella Earl leading with 31, and each of these 4 players have over 200 minutes of playing time in just 8 games. Guys, back to you.
Back inside Moody Coliseum with the national anthem up and down. And in just a few moments, we're going to meet the starting lineups for each of these teams.
Number 0, Kylie Flippin. Number 3, Kaya Bridges. Number 12, Emily Holland. Number 15, Helena Chadwick. And number 35, Katie Hale. The Warhawks are
just a few moments away from tip-off as we're meeting the Warhawks of McMurry. And now let's get ready to meet the starting lineups for the Wildcats of Abilene Christian. Happy to be back inside Moody Coliseum after their last matchup in Fort Worth, dropping to the Horned Frogs 77-60. Conference play, just 2 quick games for everyone around the conference. And in just a few moments after January, we will resume conference play, but both of these teams in non-conference action. Jaden, again, as we continue to key in on this matchup, one of the cooler things is it's the homecoming for the head coach. Drew Long was with Abilene Christian University prior to this job that he takes with the Warhawks to be the head of the program, as he was with ACU as the Deputy Director of Athletics of Internal Operations, oversaw the renovations of Moody Coliseum and really helped rebuild Wildcat basketball. Really cool for him to be back inside Moody Coliseum. Yeah, and with Coach Drew Long, living in Abilene, McMurray being right down the road, it's really a great homecoming coming back to ACU. Even though he's at McMurray University, he's still a really prominent figure in this community, and so a really familiar face around these parts. And now let's meet tonight's starting lineups for the Wildcats from Abilene Christian.
Now let's meet the starting lineups for your ACU Wildcats. At guard, a junior from Hot Springs, Arkansas, number 1, Aspen Thornton. At guard, a junior from Corinth, Texas, number 3, Bella Earl. At guard, a freshman from Eastern Texas, number 10, Peyton Hall.
just a few moments away from tip as we continue to ramp it up for McMurry and Abilene Christian. And in a few moments, we'll be off and running from Moody Coliseum. Jaden, again, D3 McMurry visiting D1 Abilene Christian. Tonight for ACU, it's a good chance to really dig in the bench and get everybody involved. And for McMurry, talking to head coach Drew Long today, says he wants a few things. He wants his team to come in. It's a cool experience for his team to play at an institution like ACU just 10 minutes down the road, but at a Division I level. But more than anything, he wants to see his team come out and compete tonight. Yeah, and his team's had a really great start to the year. I mean, going 7-1 off to a real hot start, best start they've had in over a decade. And so for them to get to come to Moody and compete against this Division I team, it'll be a really good chance to see what they're about and see how they compete and really prepare them for that conference play coming up in January. For McMurry, an exhibition match against Tarleton to begin the season before rattling off 7 wins in their first 8 games and already a cool 3-0 in conference play. Abilene Christian 4-4 and 1-1 in WAC play, and we toss it up off and running from Moody Coliseum. Wildcats in the home whites, and on their opening possession at the top of the key, they find the freshman Peyton Hole. How about that for a fast start? Looking to get Hole going, but an offensive foul sends it the other way. Yeah, great job by the McMurry defender there, getting their feet set and getting in the way, and now McMurray's gonna have the ball with a chance to get the first points up on the board here. Let's meet the starters for the McMurry Warhawks on their opening possession. They've got it at the top of the key, the starting 5 of Flippin, Bridges, Holland, Chadwick, and Hale come up empty-handed on their opening offensive trip. And now the Wildcats trying to find things with Aspen Thornton. Claire Traeger directing traffic inside, Bella Earl with it, Addison Martin slashing through, and now back to the freshman Hole for 3 off the mark. Hale tried to flip it back into play. So both teams scoreless in the opening 45 seconds of tonight's game. The Warhawks, again, a road matchup, you can call it, but a 10-minute bus drive to get to Moody Coliseum. Traeger gets a piece up high. Wildcats being stingy out high around the perimeter. Hale finds Flippin. Thought about a 3, now poked away by Aspen Thornton. There's the head coach of the Wildcats, Julie Goodenough. Jaden in her 12th season, that top key right there, no losing seasons with Abilene Christian and trying to get back to that slate where they were about 5 years ago. Southland tournament champs. Open 3 goes up and down, and it's the Warhawks on the scoreboard first with their first shot to go in from the field. Wildcats look for a response, still trying to find points past the opening minute. Thornton had her shot tipped, and now a chance to run for the Warhawks. Chadwick will push the floor. Jaden, ACU just trying to turn the wheels on offense, but good defense from McMurray. Yeah, and that's what we're really looking for here is good defense. McMurray scores the ball, puts the ball in the basket a lot, as you see there. A nice slashing Emily Holland. A lot of Texas natives from McMurray, and a school like Division III playing an in-town Division I team. Wanted to come in with a chip on the shoulder, Drew Long told us, and wanted to play with some edge. It's the freshman Peyton Hole to get the Wildcats on the scoreboard first. Nice little up and under finish. Peyton Hole has made a lot of noise in this program early on in the early stretch of the season as a triple from Katie Hales off the mark. And Aspen Thornton now wanting to push. Finds Addison Martin inside, wrapping all the way up and good. Jaden Hyde percentage shots for ACU for their first 4 points. Yeah, and that's really what Coach Goodenough's gonna be looking for. That's how you prepare for conference play, is just by getting quality looks and not taking shots outside of what you really need to and what you prepare for. Open look for Flippin, she'll let it fly. Rebound was tipped and now settled down by Bella Earl. Getting driven on the hip from Helena Chadwick for most of the floor. The whistle stops play. Chance to see our first substitution of the night. Claire Grant checking in as we got another look. A little shot fake from Hole and a nice finish to put the Wildcats on the scoreboard. Jaden with her size as a freshman, again, 5'11", and one finish inside. And how about that? Checking right into the ball game. Claire Graham says, toss me the rock.
Yeah, Claire Graham, a sophomore, prominent player here in this ACU team last year as a freshman, averaging 386 from the field and over 300 from behind the arc. Gets to the line here. Great job by Graham coming in this game and making an impact.
Graham finishes the old-fashioned three-point play from the free throw line. Jaden mentioned 38% from the field. Backdoor cut opportunity, but a little off the mark as Holland was bumped offline on the way through. About 3 minutes gone in quarter number 1. Julie Goodenough squad now facing a bit of a full court defensive pressure look. Earl helps get it across the timeline. Wildcats have gotten all 7 points right underneath the hoop. Traeger to Graham trying to change that. Left it short. And the rebound settled down by Bridges, one of the lone seniors on this team that's carried heavily by a big batch of sophomores and juniors. And Traeger will pick up her first personal foul of the night. Meanwhile, for ACU, it's a good mix of kind of production from a bunch of different classes. Starters for ACU with a pair of juniors in Aspen Thornton, Bella Earl, and then the freshman Peyton Hull making her way in the starting lineup as well. No Hull out on the floor now as Graham takes her spot, and another turnover by the Warhawks will give it back to Abilene Christian. Both teams shooting 50% from the field so far. And a stoppage in play for Traeger to get patched up. She must have caught contact somewhere and will have to go to the bench.
Yeah, Chris, you mentioned that variation of different classes here in this starting lineup for ACU, but Traeger right there that we see, she's a senior on this team that's kind of the veteran presence in this starting lineup, looks to be big defensively and on the boards as well. Even though she's a guard, plays hard, pretty good size for a guard, and gets up in the air and gets the ball off the boards really well.
We'll see the size advantage tonight by the Wildcats that get returned with another full court pressure look. It's cleared with a couple of passes. Emma Troxel, one of the other talented freshmen in this bunch to make their debut seasons with Abilene Christian, checking into the ball game. Listed a forward at 5'11". Martin inside, good. Nice pass from Bella Earl. The Wildcats stretching the floor.
Continue to look for those backdoor cuts, especially from Addison Martin down low, to get into the paint, put the ball through the rim.
Open shot attempt for Chadwick off the line. And a save attempt from Bridges. Falls right in the hands of Graham, looking to run. Thornton picked up. Nice pass underneath. Troxel swatted out of bounds. Looking to be a little bit quicker off of a really good dish from Aspen Thornton. Let's take another look. Almost 4.5 gone by. Addison Martin, little elbow jumper, no good. And the rebound falls right in the hands of Ariana Cleveland, the San Antonio, Texas native. Warhawks running the floor. Baseline pass. And another turnover gives it back to the Wildcats running. Martin lays it in. Jaden, we're seeing nice passes leading to nice finishes.
Yeah, and lots of transition offense here in this early part of the first quarter. Look for depth to play a huge part in this game.
Wildcats on the run out. Bella Earl lays it in to make it 13 unanswered for ACU. And that leads us to a Drew Long timeout. Stepping aside for the first time tonight, Wildcats facing the way with an 8-point lead on ESPN+. There's the head coach of the Warhawks, Drew Long, and we talked about it and his return to Moody Coliseum, the interim head coach in August of 2021. But held his time here with Abilene Christian when he was here for about 6 seasons. Nice drive and the finish underneath. Kylie Flippin wearing the contact on her hip and is able to finish.
Yeah, it's really the first time we've seen McMurry take the ball to the basket here, and a great job by Flippin to fight through the contact and get the ball through the hoop and get to the line here.
It's a tough finish. Three-point play complete. And Drew Long's Warhawks inching it back closer to a 5-point ACU lead. Finds Bella Earl open, she'll let it fly, rimmed around and popped out. Offensive board hauled in by Graham, and she'll reset. There's Emma Troxel left wide open. Around and out. Thornton, a nice little putback. Wildcats still trying to find that first three to go in, but Thornton crashing the boards and able to clean it up. Jaden, a really well-seasoned player for ACU on a shot that is left short. Aspen Thornton earlier this year eclipsed 1,000 career points, so that's just another piece that Julie Goodenough has.
Coach Goodenough really likes Thornton. She likes to run the offense through her, and a great foundation of the offense. The point guard, Thornton plays it great. She's a cornerstone piece here in this ACU offense.
And there's an offensive foul as Troxel, a little heavy on the feet, trying to get her way to the rim. And the offensive foul gives it back to the Warhawks. Talking about Drew Long, though, started his college career, picked up the phone, called the University of Colorado after his playing days came to a close at Northwestern in the Big Ten. And they offered him a volunteer job. He shows up, and they said, we've got all this video equipment. We don't know what to do with it. Can you be our VC? Nice finish underneath from Chadwick. The Warhawks get it back to a 5-point lead. And that's how Drew Long got started in college athletics, made his way to Air Force through the coaching tree. Wrap around up and good for Addison Martin. Seeing some nice finishes. Physicality, Jaden, something we've noticed so far.
This ACU roster does outsize the McMurry roster just a bit, but Tori Coleman now here in the game there.
Nice shot off the glass.
Bring some size to this McMurry roster. Look for her to make an impact down low, especially in the paint, and getting some defensive rebounds.
That's something Drew Long said too, is it's tough to have, you need bigs, right? You always need bigs, and it's tough to have skilled bigs that can do it all from all levels. Martin misses a free shot off the glass. And he says those girls that are 6 foot or taller that out of high school, they're gonna go D2, D1. That's off the mark for Holland.
It's definitely a challenge that a Division III program faces. Drew Long really worked on recruiting here in his first stint as a head coach. As you mentioned, he got the interim job back a few years ago. This is his 3rd year here with McMurry. Best start to the season so far, coming in at 7-1 into this game.
Wildcats with Kennedy rising on the floor. Meredith Mays getting some touches and some action inside. And she's gonna pick up the 3-second. It was a nice entry pass. Wildcats turn it back over. Just over 2 minutes left to go in quarter number 1. That's kind of what we were talking about we're going to see tonight. We're going to see a lot of substitutions, a lot of players getting in and out. And we're seeing that continuously. Also Peyton Hull, the freshman, back on the floor for the Wildcats. Warhawks playing out high, wrapping around the top of the key. Bridges a nice drive, had it, lost it, and now loose on the floor. Possession arrow will stay with the Warhawks. Shot clock won't reset. McMurry with 14 seconds to work with.
Yeah, the nice thing about bringing lots of players on and off the floor, especially for ACU, is they'll be able to keep the speed up, run that transition offense, fly around the court, continuing to have this suffocating defense on McMurray.
5 on the shot clock. And a forced opportunity on the drive. Cleveland knew she just had to try and crash and get a good shot off. Another jump ball, and it'll be in possession of the Wildcats. ACU pushing the floor now. A lot of traffic to the sub-table for the Wildcats. Earl, an open three, knocks it down. There's number 1 of the night on the 6th pole for ACU from downtown. Bella Earl picks up team number 1 in her first. She's got 5 points.
This Wildcats roster will look to continue to get hot shooting from beyond the arc, something that's very prevalent in their offense.
Off the glass and no good. Contest for the rebound. Coleman chases her shot, locks it up with Hole, and that possession arrow keeps flipping back and forth. Now back with McMurray. 20 on the shot clock. Earl and Holland each with 5. There are impact players and fitting enough, leading the way in the scoring column. Aspen Thornton reads the passing lane and picks it off. Runs the floor, no. Second chance, up and good, and the foul for the freshman Hole.
As you look, great job by Hole to run the floor, get down low, follow her teammate, grab the board, put it right back in, and draw a foul, get to the line. Hole shooting over 70% from the line this season.
3-point play is good. One of the better free throw shooters on this roster and ever improving at 77%. Aspen Thornton heads to the bench. Claire Graham back in for ACU. Just over a minute to go in quarter number 1. Wildcats in front by 11. Warhawks wrapping it around. Wildcats strung out high, trying to deny. Open three look, it rolls in for Flippin. She's got 6. That's a game high. Had the 3-point play with the and 1 earlier, and now a 3 ball to go from downtown. Cuts the Wildcats lead back to single digits. Hole pushes to Earl. And after a while, she'll let one fly. Almost had it to go. Shot clock turned off for the Warhawks. About 20 seconds in the first quarter.
This ACU defense continues to push outward and push this offense further away from the basket. Look for some backdoor cuts here.
Offensive foul off Coleman. And a good step in from Claire Graham. Help side defense to step in. Got there just in time. And now the Wildcats for the final 8 seconds. 5 to go in the first quarter. Hole trying to drive, kicks it out. Graham at the buzzer, got it! Wildcats end the first frame with an exclamation mark. An 11-point lead for ACU. Second 3 ball to go down of the night, and the first for Graham kicks us to our quarter break on ESPN+. Second quarter coming your way, and we'll send it down to Joshua Varner.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, so as we mentioned earlier, Drew Long is currently in his 3rd season as the head coach at McMurry. Prior to taking this position in 2021, Drew Long was on the head coaching staff here at Abilene Christian University, working as the Deputy Director of Athletics for internal repairs. During his time at ACU, Coach Long was one of the key players in converting the Teague Center here on campus into a basketball court while Moody Coliseum was going through renovations. This season, Coach Long and the Warhawks are off to one of their best season starts, coming to this game with a record of 7-1. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Joshua. Yep, and Drew Long, definitely an out-of-the-spotlight guy, but deserves all the praise from the Wildcats and what he's impacted in his time here. Peyton Hole, a nice slash to the lane and lays it up and in. The Wildcats now in front by 16, but Jaden says his commute went from a 2-minute drive to work to 10 minutes, so still a happy medium, and he's back in coaching, which is, he said he was definitely longing to do that. Whistle underneath the hoop. Keep things down here. Claire Traeger picks up the foul. Looking at the first quarter stats, Jaden, what stands out to you when you're looking at the numbers?
Yeah, so we look at the turnover margin, and McMurry with 9 turnovers so far. ACU doing a good job forcing those turnovers and only having 4. Also, we look at the offensive rebounds here for Abilene Christian. 4 offensive rebounds here early on. converting those into 5 second chance points for the Wildcats.
Yeah, second chance points in the O boards, certainly a factor. Bella Earl continues to be a factor. She's got 8 on her second free ball to go down. And Julie Goodenough hoping she can continue to be a force. The size Bella Earl has at 5'10", but listed as a guard. I think she can do that. Swats it out of the hands of Holland. And now Hull, baseline, look to go back to Earl, but a low pass. Freshman almost jarred it free, and still Holland fighting through. Top of the key, and Coleman lets one go. Front rimmed it. Martin pulling down her second board of the night. Wildcats in front by 17. Thornton kicked it off the back heel. Hull had to fight for the rebound and ends up picking up the personal.
Yeah, you see Earl there crashing the boards, going for the rebound. She's a really good fit here in a good enough system. She can shoot from 3, she crashes the boards, has a grit to her, but one thing that might be underrated about Earl is her ability to pass the ball and get it to other playmakers. She has 31 assists on the year coming into today. 2 triple doubles.
Bella's dad, college football in Western Kentucky, go on and play for Washington and Houston in the NFL, so comes from that lineage for sure. 30 games for her, 7 starts just a season ago. Warhawks with it at the top of the key. Wildcats doing a good job of talking on defense, and a whistle on the drive in. 9 on the shot clock. See if it was on the floor. Don't think that a shot was being attempted, and it won't be. So McMurray with it under the base, on the baseline, should say. Couple more names in for the Wildcats, with Gracie Warnley checking in, and Thornton again pulls one out of the air, running the floor and whistled on the way to the rim. She'll be heading to the stripe. Just 2 free throws for ACU, Jaden, in that first quarter, but both of them off of the old-fashioned three-point play, getting the contact and finishing underneath.
It's been a very physical game to this point. The ACU doing a good job fighting through the contact. And when they do get to the line, like you said, it's for the three-point play. They're able to make the shot, even on the foul.
Thornton knocks down her first. 71% free throw shooter, had a season-high 46 minutes at Stephen F. Austin. 6 of both. All-WAC newcomer at the end of her first season when she transferred in from Waukeeta Baptist to ACU and joined Julie Goodenough's squad, and now forces a turnover.
Here at Waukeeta Baptist, Division II basketball. In the years of 21 and 22, that season, she was the leading scorer in all of NCAA Division II basketball. Thornton a big-time scorer. And some great defense as well.
Martin draws the double team, good pass out to Traeger, got it. Thornton, her second assist, hooking up Traeger for 3. And the second for Traeger to go down tonight. Warnley trips, and the shot wouldn't go. And now Graham pushing the tempo. Thornton thought about it. She's got Martin fighting for position inside. Kicked out. Warnley open 3 off the mark. Graham taps it into the McMurray bench. We go back with McMurray as we take another look. Claire Traeger, just 2 of 12 from the arc, outside the arc on the season, and blowing kisses on now doubling those 3s to go in this year. She's got 2 tonight.
One thing Traeger really brings to this ACU team is her ability to get rebounds. Sitting at 5'10". Got some decent size to her, but great job there getting the ball beyond the arc and putting it through the hoop.
Definitely plays with an edge, as she spent 4 years at Binghamton, transfers over to ACU. And pulls down another rebound. Right on cue from your guy, Jaden West. Thornton kicks it out. And an open three. Got it. Another three ball for Claire Graham. Tuscola, Texas native. With number 2 of the night. Wildcats 6 for 14 from outside, and they stretch the lead. Nice drive all the way, but contested at the rim. Flippin couldn't finish. Thornton running the floor, boots it back up to Traeger. Graham wanting to continue the scoring, wrapping all the way around. No, Martin cleans it up, but can't finish. And Traeger hits the floor. Wildcats with some good looks there, but can't cash in. 5.5 to go in quarter number 2. Thornton drawing the double team, avoids the charge underneath with Flippin hitting the deck, and knocked down by Graham.
Once again, offensive rebounds continuing to be a big factor here in the game, especially for the ACU girls.
Zoe Jackson hopping on the floor, Emma Troxel as well. Claire Graham out there. And an offensive foul gonna send us the other way. And then pretty cool for the folks from Bixby, Oklahoma and Bixby High School. Meredith Mays and Gracie Wernley out on the floor at the same time. Played high school together, graduated together, coming to ACU together. And wearing the purple-white for ACU out on the floor right now. Wernley with it, looking for Troxel. Back to her. Keeps it moving to Jackson. 5 on the timer for the Wildcats. Troxel wrapping around. They'll have to pull with Jackson off the mark. A lot of different opportunities there, Jaden, for someone to get a look, but waited a little too late in the timer. That's going to boot us to our halfway point in the second quarter. Wildcats up. Back after this on ESPN Plus. Back inside Moody Coliseum as we roll along in the second quarter. Chris Jarrett, Jaden West, our entire ACU TV crew with you tonight. Jaden, we look at this matchup here and Wildcats pacing the way. An 11-0 run over the last 4 minutes. Warhawks, you can see just trying to find some production, and another offensive foul. Turnovers are an issue, just trying to get inside. The Wildcats have been tightening things down on defense.
Yeah, and the good thing about the Wildcats is they're taking those turnovers that they force and turning them into points. They have 22 points from turnovers so far in this game. And they'll look to go down and get some more here.
Jackson with it at the top of the key, finds Troxel at the elbow. Wernley, another three pull. Got it! Gracie Wernley with her third 3 of the season. She stretches the Wildcat lead. Tom played basketball at Oklahoma State. Wernley, the freshman with ACU.
Coming into this game, we knew the 3-ball was going to play a big factor for ACU. Started off not shooting super well. In the first quarter, only 25% from behind the arc, but much better here in the second.
Jackson a good look and let one fly. Rebound finally settled down by Hale. The Wildcats team on the season just 32% from outside. A nice jumper up and down for Kylie Flippin. Flippin with a team high 8 on her third shot to go in from the field. So Jaden, a team that has been trying to find more shots to go in from outside. Games like this can definitely help with that. Wernley pulls again, no good. Cleveland pulls down the board. Chadwick running left side, got it to go. All the way in with contact on her right hip, still finished.
And Chadwick there just simply outrunning the ACU defense, using a burst of speed to get to the basket. Put it up high off the board, and it's good. Back-to-back possessions of scores here for the McMurry offense.
It's what they were looking for with a drought that they were facing of almost 4 minutes. So going to get some points in for the Warhawks as ACU continues to spread the love. get more bodies in and out. Eli Exposito Perez in from Canary Islands, Spain. Transfer from Trinidad State out on the floor for ACU. Martin on Hale up high. Wrapping around finds Cleveland. Chadwick back with it. Martin stayed with her, but bumped her on the shot attempt. Got a good, clean block. But the body contact is going to send Chadwick to the line.
You mentioned Exposito Perez coming in this game. We haven't seen her a whole lot yet this season. This is just her 4th game. Coming originally from Spain. First played at Trinidad State, in which she received the honor of valedictorian. Academic prowess she is. Coach good enough, really stresses the importance of academics. With finals week this week for this ACU, she was really excited about having a game on dead day, but really stressed the importance of the players being able to take time to focus on their studies after tonight.
How are you doing with finals? Should we ask about that, or we'll move on?
Let's just say, let's get back to the basketball.
2:15 to go in the second quarter, and 5 on the shot clock. Out to Graham, she's gonna have to force. Off the mark. Drew Long happy with forcing another long possession.
Yeah, and McMurray's gonna continue to look for this, to take away that 3 ball. Last couple possessions here, they've really locked down on ACU's offense, pushing them out and having to force tough shots there at the end of the shot clock.
Kicked out high, Holland for 3. Hit the back rim. And then Cleveland a little aggressive going for the loose ball. Picks up the personal. Back to the Wildcats with 1:49 to go in the second quarter. And again, just kind of going off of our game trend. Rising out on the floor. Exposito, Perez, Warnley, Martin, and Graham. Not usually a 5 that you're going to see take the floor for ACU unless under extreme circumstances. So just good to continue everybody getting in a rhythm with each other. And a turnover. Nice jumping pass lane from Emily Holland. And count it. Good run of the floor all the way for Holland as she was able to get this to go with the pressure from Exposito Perez on the bump.
Holland, one of our impact players here to start this game. Already with 7 points so far here. Coming up on the end of this first half.
3-point play good for Holland. And now the Wildcats facing a bit of a scoring drought from the field. Hull tries to fix that. Yep. 3 ball up and down for the freshman Peyton Hull. Her first of the night. 4th shot to go in from the field for Hull, and she's got 10 points. Baseline drive, kicked out high. And again, pure from 3 for Kylie Flippin. Her second, she's got 11. Final minute of the first half. Rising began the season as a starter. Julie Goodenough continuing to work with the lineup. And now one of the first options off the bench for ACU, if not continuing to be a starter. Warnley gets the jumper to go up and down. And she adds to her total. She's got 5 tonight. About 7 minutes of floor action. Just under half a minute to go in the first half. Plucked out of the air from Martin. Oh, up to Perez running the floor. Nice hero step off the glass, no good. And Hull out high. She'll pull from 3, around and out. Tip loose underneath, and Martin couldn't get her hands on it. They'll be back with McMurray for the final 10 seconds.
Once again, another offensive rebound for the Wildcats. This time, not being able to capitalize off of it. Gives McMurray the ball for the final few seconds here in the half.
Flippin', final seconds from the logo, off the mark. That puts a bow on the first half with the Wildcats reaching the half-century mark on McMurray. 50-29, our halftime score after 2 quarters of play. Getting things going as see if we can get Joshua Varner and Julie Goodenough down before the Wildcats hit the locker room. And a good 15 minutes up on the clock for the halftime break. And now we'll send it down to Joshua Varner with Julie Goodenough.
Thank you, guys. So, Coach Goodenough, how do you feel about that first half for your team tonight?
You know, I thought offensively we were really sharing the ball well. Defensively, we've got to shore up some things. We had some defensive lapses that I feel like were just a lack of communication, so that's what we'll talk about at halftime.
All right, well, sweet. Thank you so much. Guys, back to you at the desk.
Joshua, thank you. 50-29, our halftime score. As both teams hit the locker room, we'll step aside ourselves with halftime finding us from Moody Coliseum. Come back with us. We'll break down the first half and take a look at some of the stats coming up in a few moments on ESPN+. Halftime inside Moody Coliseum. Wildcats 50, McMurry 29 after 2 quarters of play. Both teams in the locker room, and we welcome you back courtside inside Moody Coliseum. Chris Jared and Jaden West with you. Jaden, let's talk about that first half a little bit. A lot of scoring for ACU as they reach the half-century mark. What stood out to you after 2 quarters of play?
Yeah, so you heard Coach Goodenough at the halftime interview talking about how well she was really happy with how well this offense was producing here in the first half. With the first quarter, ACU obviously prominent from the three-point line, only shooting 25% there in the first quarter, but coming back strong in the second quarter, bringing that percentage up to 50, doubling it there. Big key takeaway from the first half for me is the three-point shooting improvement on this ACU side of the ball.
Yeah, the Wildcats 2 for 8 in the first quarter, 6 for 12 from three-point land in the second quarter. So a really nice 8 for 20 after 2 quarters of play. We talked about it, Jaden, but good to see a lot of bodies, a lot of personnel for both of these teams getting in and getting some floor time.
Yeah, lots of players have points on the floor. Gracie Wernley, someone that maybe not as prevalent of a scorer, doesn't get in the game as much previous to tonight, but getting in and dropping 5 points here in the first half. Look for more of that. Look for more of these players to come off the bench for the Wildcats and get the ball in their hands and through the hoop.
It's good for the team too, just when you can get everybody in and allow players to get active and get in, especially moving forward. Injuries can happen, sickness can happen, anything can happen, so it's good to dig into your bench and have action out on the floor too.
Yeah, things like this come into play here for conference play, and not only for that, but for future seasons. Some of these young freshmen and sophomores coming off the bench to get just game time experience at the Division I level is huge in the long run.
Wildcats up big as we are at half. We'll go ahead and step aside again on ESPN+. Second half coming your way next in about 6 minutes as that clock keeps on ticking. 50 for the Wildcats in the first half. Back after this with half number 2 next on ESPN+. Back inside Moody Coliseum and keeping it rolling tonight as the third quarter on tap. Wildcats in front big, dropping 50 points in the first half. D1 ACU hosting D3 McMurray tonight on this Monday, December 11th. Wildcats getting closer and closer to the holiday break on campus and continuing along in their non-conference schedule. Getting back ready to get things going in the third quarter. And Jaden, as we look at this, it's more of the same. It's more what we talked about to start the game. Third quarter, second half, a good chance to make some adjustments and get some more players in and get some good experience.
Yeah, and for this McMurray squad, we saw them fall down. ACU went on a big 14-point run there in the middle of the second quarter, but McMurray responded really well by coming up and having their own 9-0 run on their own there towards the end of the second quarter and first half. So a little momentum going into half. We'll see how this McMurray squad comes out and responds to this dominating Wildcat offense.
They've been stingy on defense too. Outside shot attempt, bobbled around the rim and popped out. Rebound pulled down by Earl, her third of the night. How about Earl, Holt, Martin, and Traeger, all with 3 rebounds for ACU. It's booted out to Aspen Thornton. Got a hand on the ball and jarred it free for a moment, but they'll whistle the foul on Taya Bridges.
Thornton, usually a prevalent scorer in this ACU offense, but today sharing the ball a little bit more. She has 3 assists and only 4 points so far in this game. Look for her to get going a little bit more, but it's good to see her passing the ball around, getting into some other playmakers for the Wildcats.
Traeger had an opportunity on the back end, but had to earn it and couldn't get the shot to go in. Entry pass tipped out of bounds, and it'll stay on this end of the floor. Talking about the non-conference schedule, ACU fresh off of the loss at Texas Christian, TCU in Fort Worth, but that was almost a week ago, 6 days ago on December 5th, as Traeger pulls down the board. Wildcats with this one here tonight at home before they pack their bags to Bowling Green, Kentucky to take on the Hilltoppers. Western Kentucky on December 18th, a week from tonight. 3-ball book it for Traeger, another one.
As you mentioned, it's been 6 days since the Wildcats last played when they were in Fort Worth, but Coach Goodenough mentioned how the team's been traveling a lot whenever they went up to for that classic on the East Coast, having to play games pretty quick and looking at scouting reports and having to roll and be on the road. So really nice for this Wildcats team to be able to slow it down a little bit, take a little bit of a break, and be able to focus on this McMurry team and look forward to the rest of their non-conference schedule.
Julie Goodenough wanted some contact on that shot attempt from Traeger. Off the window, too hard. Chadwick couldn't finish, and a whistle underneath. And let's see if that is on Addison Martin, and it is. Be the 3rd personal of the night for Martin, with Earl and Hull also with 2 personal fouls. Katie Hale out on the floor, the 6'1" junior center for McMurry with 3. But now Martin joining her with the only ones really flirting with foul trouble.
Been a pretty physical game up to this point.
Free throw around and good for Chadwick. Yeah, it's been physical, what we've noted for the most part tonight. Chadwick, a 78% free throw shooter. In her sophomore year, she sinks them both here. Played in 24 games as a true freshman last year. Upping her time with the Warhawks. A good piece for Drew Long in the seasons to come. Thornton on the drive, had it swatted out of bounds. Good piece from Bridges to pry the shot free. It'll stay with the Wildcats. Let's take another look. Nice backdoor cut, but good help as Hale was able to step in, and then Bridges didn't take herself out of the play. Earl sets for 3, around and out. Martin rips down the O board.
Another offensive rebound here for the Wildcats as Thornton drives in the paint, gets it up and in, and gets the end one. She'll go to the line.
Thornton, her 2nd shot to go in from the field, and she's got 6 points. But back to the free throw line for Aspen Thornton. It's the 3rd time she's finished tonight in traffic with the whistle, and a little home spin there to go down. Sinks the free throw. Thornton with 7. And a perfect 3 for 3 from the stripe. Give her 3 assists as well. Wildcats by 25. 2.5 minutes gone in the 3rd quarter. Backdoor cut, but the pass a little late to Flippin. Stays with it, swatted by Hull.
Both teams have gotten to the line tonight. Pretty significant amount. And both teams shooting 100% from that line. Abilene Christian with 5 free throws. Shot and made. McMurry with 6 of their own.
Traeger driving. Swings it out to Earl with 5 on the shot clock. Martin going to work. Got it to go off the left side. After backing down Hale, able to finish. And Addison Martin adds to her total. She's got 10. Wildcats trying to continue to make Moody Coliseum a tough place to play for Julie Goodenough's bunch. 11-3 inside Moody last year. And Hull whistled defending the drive from Emily Holland. Just 3 losses and 14 contests a season ago for the Wildcats, 11-5 a year prior in 2021.
Yeah, and this year we get to see a continued success here at home for the Wildcats as they're 3-1 inside Moody this season, with this being their 5th game here at home.
Free throw good. Yeah, that lone loss to a really good program in Rice, 69-58. And a contest that the Wildcats were in, but again, a really quality opponent in Rice. Time in, time out. One of the more solid mid-major programs in the country. Out of the Houston area, Bella Earl had her entry pass booted out of bounds, so it'll stay with ACU. And 20 seconds on the shot clock.
ACU continues to be suffocating on the defensive end of the ball. McMurry trying to make some adjustments here on defense. Keep the ball out of shooters like Bella Earl and Aspen Thornton's hands.
And a good deny there as it was poked free. Back with McMurray. And working inside, Ashton Garner was able to get that shot to go down. Native of Odessa, Texas. Transferred from Odessa High and was a Jim Ned kid. Makes her way to Abilene to play for the Warhawks. Martin with it, a tough finish. Fighting through the long arms of Garner and got that one to go. Now 12 for Addison Martin on 6 for 8 from the field. Jaden entered tonight 42% from the field, but tonight will really help the average.
We talk about the Wildcats being able to shoot it from deep, but part of their game that's big is girls like Addison Martin being able to get in the paint and put the ball through the hoop with more traditional ways down low.
Wildcats 13 for 21 on their layups tonight. Making a high percentage and a majority of their layups as Martin was whistled on her journey to the rim.
See her there giving the courtside kids high fives as she comes back into the play. Pretty good turnout here in Moody on a Monday night.
Yeah, dead day on campus. And I think the crosstown rivalry works in a couple different ways. Claire Graham for 3. And Aspen Thornton going for the rebound. It's going to go back to McMurray.
I know one thing Coach Goodenough really likes about this squad is their hustle.
Stepping aside for our under 5-minute media, and the Wildcats continue on to face a big night inside Moody Coliseum.
Attention, Wildcat fans.
Back inside Moody Coliseum, and for more on one of the newest faces in the Wildcat program, we send it down to Joshua Varner for more.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, so as we mentioned earlier, one of the key players for Abilene Christian this season has been Peyton Hull. Peyton is a true freshman from Peace High School in Texas, where she led her team to 2 regional semifinal appearances and finished her high school career with over 3,000 points scored. Additionally, at the end of her 2023 season, her jersey number was retired for her accomplishments during her high school career. At ACU, she is the team's scoring leader, coming into this game with 141 points scored with 2 consecutive 30-point games earlier this season. Additionally, Peyton Hull was named the Western Athletic Conference Newcomer of the Week 2 weeks in a row earlier this season. So far, she's 4 for 6 in the field with 10 points. We'll see how she continues to lead this team as the night goes on. Guys, back to you.
Joshua, thank you. As you mentioned, Easter High School, and a nice shot to go up and down. Out of the break, Kylie Flippin keeps things going for McMurray in the 3rd quarter. Each team with 10 points to go down in quarter number 3. Troxel for 3 left it short. Earl the offensive rebound. And another one on the night for the Wildcats. Give them their 9th O-board in the contest.
Drew Long making some really good halftime adjustments. Has his girls with McMurray coming out, playing really well here in the 2nd half. Offense looking much better than it did in the 1st. And defense has really pressed the Wildcats out from beyond the arc. Thornton tries to drive it inside.
Thornton on a good wraparound and got bumped before the shot attempt, much before the shot attempt. So the Wildcats will have Thornton on the inbound now. A fresh 20 on the clock. They go in the corner to Thornton on a shot fake. Driving baseline, wouldn't go. Rebound pulled down by the Warhawks.
Good ball movement there by the Wildcats. Continue to see that out of all players on this Wildcats roster, both starting and off the bench.
Thornton again in traffic, boots it out clear, grand three. Too strong, and a one and done for ACU on that trip. Haven't seen as many threes in the third quarter and thought maybe as a team would slow things down from the arc, try to work things back inside. But a quick pull and gives it back to the Warhawks. Flippin' driving in, and Mays pulls it down. Meredith Mays, rebound number 1 tonight for the Wildcats.
Warhawks doing a really good job, much better here in the second half of getting to the rim, struggling to finish it just a little bit. Force a turnover here, and going back trying to put some more points and cut this lead within this deficit, within 20.
Both teams trying to put a stop to the self-inflicted turnovers. Troxel was flagged for the travel. Back with McMurray. Both teams again with 10 points to go down in this third quarter. 3-point shot up and good for Flippin. Give her third three of the night. She's got a game high 16. Troxel with it off a shot fake. Finds a better option in Jackson. Back to the freshman Troxel. And back to Jackson for three. No good. Mays with it. Back out Graham, open three. Front rimmed. Pinballs around before finally finding the hands of Holland running the floor. Bailout pass. Mays with the block. And gets whistled for the foul. ACU with good ball movement on that end. Holland able to sneak it off for a little lay-in from Garcia.
And another couple more offensive rebounds for the Wildcats. Just couldn't capitalize off of it and get it back through the rim. So Murray getting the ball back and driving down and getting to the line.
Both teams now in the bonus for the final 2.5 minutes of the third quarter. First free throw goes in.
Both teams continue to be 100% from the line up until this point.
Oh, you did that.
And the good old analyst jinx here from me.
First free throw miss of the night. McMurray was a perfect 9 for 9 before that. ACU 5 for 5. Jackson three, yes! Zoe Jackson with her first points of the night.
Jackson transferred from Butler. She's a junior out of McKinney, Texas. So coming back to Texas was probably nice for her to be able to play on this ACU roster, and big shot there from her.
Flippin' left it short, poked it up to Hole. Now nice up pass to Earl, lays it in. Soft finish for Bella Earl. She adds to her total and is in double digits. 3 Wildcats in double digits tonight. Garcia left it short, and Bella Earl with her 5th board. Hole runs the floor, bumped from behind on the shot. And she'll be heading to the free throw line.
One thing I've been really impressed with, Chris, is the ability for this McMurray squad to take really good shots. The shot selection's been really good up to this point here. As we're later in the third quarter, they just haven't been able to get them all through the rim and not been able to finish some of those attempts. But good shot selection out of the Warhawks. Comes in big down the road in the latter part of the season. Coach Long looking for that here out of his girls.
Hole splits the pair on her trip to the stripe. And everybody across the country trying to get polished, trying to get ready for when the calendar year flips. Those 2 months of January and February are everything for a lot of teams. That's when conference play can fully begin, and a nice shot to go in for Holland. She's got 14. Flipping with 16. And those top 2 are game highs. Meanwhile, Wildcats spreading the love on offense with Martin able to finish. Addison Martin, 7 for 9 from the field, 5 boards, and she's got 14 points.
Great pass there by Zoe Jackson. Coming in this game here in the 3rd quarter and making an immediate impact for the Wildcats.
The old up and under for Tori Coleman goes down. And Addison Martin picks up her 3rd personal.
Coleman here, a big, strong presence for McMurray. Not afraid of contact and will not back down. Very physical inside. She finds herself here on the line.
And Martin thinking there too that she's just trying to hang with Coleman and stand her ground. And unfortunately picks up the personal. Now both officials talking things over with McMurray trying to make a substitution. Morgan Travis was attempting to try and check in. And so that's what they're talking about right now, is she was whistled to a stop. And they are gonna I think they are gonna issue the technical because Travis tried to take the floor.
So they're gonna send all the players here to half court as Coleman makes her free throw attempts. Coach good enough trying to get some clarification on what's been happening here.
Yeah, both tried to take the floor, and that's what it's on, was Abilene Christian, believe, substitute taking the floor first. And it's tough on our end to try and find a replay of that. But officials trying to get things sorted out, as we will have Coleman shooting an additional free throw. So this is the technical for the substitution, the illegal substitution foul. Punks it off the back iron. And now ACU is going to have to take one. Which is interesting. And both teams will take their substitutions as well. So Addison Martin checks out, and Emily Holland for McMurray. Earl sinks the first one.
Yeah, and we get junior guard Morgan Travis in the game now for McMurray. Right down the road, she's from Abilene, Texas, went to school not too far from here at Abilene Wiley. Lots of local faces here around the court with coaches and players growing up and living right around the big country.
Earl with it with about a half minute to go on the 3rd quarter. As Jackson drives, boots out to Burrell, open 3, got it. Bella Earl, 15 points on the night, and her 3rd triple. Continues to lead the way from outside for ACU.
Earl continuing to shoot the ball really well, high percentage shots and high percentage from the field.
And then flips the script, sends it the other way. Bella Earl averaging 13 a night. Good for about 34 minutes to lead the team. About 8 boards a night to lead the team. Her 31 assists as well. So not only is she hauling in a team high rebounds tonight, but spreading the ball around. She can also score it really well too.
Yeah, and Earl's a veteran presence on this ACU roster. She started all 24 games last season. And she's the longest tenured Wildcat on this good enough roster.
To the left. Take it back now, y'all. One up this time.
Shot clock turned off for the final 10 seconds of quarter number 3. Thornton up high to Mays, looking for Rising. Kennedy Rising up and under, off the window, and good. Kennedy Rising's first bucket of the night. This draws an end to the third quarter. 9 different Wildcats in the scoring column tonight as we step aside. Fourth quarter coming your way next on ESPN+. Fourth quarter right around the corner and a fresh 10 minutes on the clock. Wildcats up big on a Monday night. Back off and running from Moody Coliseum. Chris Jarrett, Jaden West with you as Kennedy Rising pulls for 3, no good. And still loose underneath, but finally pulled down by Bridges. Runs the floor and waits for the reinforcements to arrive. Garcia around and goes in. That one touched about every part of the rim before finally going down. Garcia's got her first shot from the field of the night.
Garcia, freshman, shoots it well from behind the arc. Look for her to try to get the ball in her hands and get some points on the board for this McMurry offense.
Thornton had the left elbow, booted out to Earl, and she couldn't hit. For the Wildcats, Addison Martin, Bella Earl, each with 14 on the night. McMurry, a game-high 16 from Kylie Flippin. Shot no good on this end. Toss to Mays underneath, the freshman trying to get it out to Thornton as it was poked free. Back to Mays, contact underneath and she's fouled.
We continue to see it time and time again. Thornton with the dribble penetration and the underneath pass to her post. Does a great job of facilitating the offense, getting into playmakers down low and kicking it out to shooters.
Meredith Mays, the 10th Wildcat to join in on the scoring tonight. Left the second one short. We ended the third quarter with a Kennedy Rising bucket underneath. That was her first shot to go in from the field and her first points. A free throw from the freshman Meredith Mays makes it 10. Minute and a half already gone in the fourth quarter and a turnover from McMurry to send it the other way. Wildcats, as we kind of recap this game, Jaden, 50 points for them in the first half before the free ball was going down.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, shot selection has been huge here for the Wildcats, taking really quality shots, shooting just over 47%, excuse me, from the field, but 35.5% from 3. That one doesn't quite go. Possession will stay with McMurry.
Knocked out of bounds. Be back with McMurry. Well, we talked about it, the Wildcats' upcoming schedule. A really big road trip coming up, Western Kentucky, a week from tonight on December 18th before returning home. And right before flipping the calendar to 2024, Louisiana Tech in town. You see on that schedule conference play not far away for the Wildcats and the rest of the Western Athletic Conference. Earl for 3, got it. Bella Earl with 17 on the night and her fourth 3 to go in.
And the Wildcats would really like to have that there in January when WAC play comes back around once again. ACU 1-1 in the WAC so far with those 2 early games in November before the rest of the non-conference schedule.
3 pull and a deep one at that, no good. And a turnover in the open court. Push pass up to Johnson, who's got it. Looking underneath and barely saved and into the hands of Mays. Hole for 3. Short. Earl had a chance at it, but poked it out of bounds. Big night for Bella Earl, 17, 5, and 3 as we now get a chance to see McMurray's upcoming schedule. A lot of home games. You see the next 8 are home, but sandwiched in between there, the Puerto Rico Classico, December 29th and 30th. Nice little trip to Puerto Rico in the cold of December.
I can imagine that'll be a nice,
oh yeah,
nice New Year's Eve party for this McMurray team. Being able to wrap up 2023 in Puerto Rico.
Be pretty nice.
Be a lot of fun. Good team chemistry, building experience for a strong team coached by Drew Long.
Thornton pulls down the rebound and now looks to push. She's got Mays, but kicked out of bounds in a quick transition with Morgan Travis running the floor. Addison Martin will check back in. And Gracie Wernley also back in, the freshman for ACU. At 5'9", the guard with good size. Nice tough finish for Aspen Thornton. She's got 9. And flirting with double figures. We had that graphic all the way back before the start of the broadcast tonight of the 4 members for ACU in double figures this season. And Thornton with 9, another bucket. The Wildcats would keep that trend.
Thornton shoots it well from 3 coming into tonight. Over 40% on the season, but tonight doing a really good job of getting it inside, getting to the basket with dribble penetration, and finishing off the glass for her 9 points of the day.
Thornton blows by Travis, finds Martin, but an offensive foul is going to wave off the bucket.
Lots of physicality, and as I mentioned, Thornton driving inside, but
man,
that's Coleman with a really good job of getting in front, setting the feet, and drawing the charge to get possession back in McMurray's favor.
Yeah, could see Thornton go down, but she's up. And just a bump of the left knee. Was able to stroll off the floor on her own just fine, but you could see right after, that's a tough collision to wear. Under 6 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. 30-point advantage for ACU. And you want to play these games tough and to the whistle. That's what both teams doing. Tough shot attempt. Traeger with the rebound and then a tie-up underneath.
Yeah, with that jump ball, we see no backing down from this McMurray squad. Drew Long has his girls fighting hard and fighting till the end. This game continues to be physical. A few too many fouls here for both teams, but physical game and both teams doing a really good job of responding and playing through that physicality.
High pass that Travis couldn't settle down. Jackson with it, runs the floor. What a finish. Zoe Jackson off balance, but made it look so comfortable. She's got 5 tonight. From Allen High School, as Jaden mentioned earlier, went to Butler, but back in her home area of sorts, with Allen not far away. Knocked out of bounds, and it'll be back with the Wildcats.
Another turnover from McMurray. Abilene Christian continuing to force turnovers. 21 so far tonight. Gets possession back in their favor here with just 5 minutes left to go in this game.
And Brooke Jessen checking in from Spirit Lake, Idaho. A chance for her to find her first points of the season, let alone the night, if she can get a shot to go down. Jessen, her 5th game played in. It's the Wildcats turning over. She's 0 for 6 from the field, so a chance as Jackson almost poked it free, but a tie-up. And Garcia didn't let her shake free in the open court. Johnson puts it on the floor, swings it back up high. Nice pass, but stolen away by Jackson. Finding Jessen underneath and too strong off the window. A good look on the run out, and now a one-handed pass all the way up and laid in by Cleveland.
Jessen had an opportunity there to get her first points of the season, but couldn't quite get it to go. McMurray did a good job of taking it and turning it back over on the end of the court. Getting 2 points up on the board.
3-pointer good from the far corner. Claire Graham with her 3rd 3 of the night, and she's got 12.
Wildcats continue to share the ball really well in this game.
Ball goes out of bounds. We just mentioned the 3 for Claire Graham. That's a new season high. As this brings us to our first media break of the 4th quarter. Wildcats continuing to light it up on the scoreboard. We wrap up the rest of this contest when we come back on ESPN. Back inside Moody Coliseum for the final 3:40 of tonight's contest. Chris Jarrett, Jaden West with you. Joshua Varner on the sideline. Jalen Garrett and the rest of our ACU TV crew hard at work tonight. Big shout out to the students on what's a dead day for students across campus. Happy to bring you Wildcat basketball on ESPN+. Shot attempt batted around and last touch by ACU. Tristan Keller out on the floor for the Wildcats. There you see the freshman Gracie Wernley.
And as we've
Keller
said
in just her 5th game of the season. Go ahead, Jaden.
Sorry about that, Chris. As we've said all night, ACU looking to get lots of girls on the floor.
No doubt.
Spread the wealth around a little bit. ACU with 25 points off the bench. Something we expected to see, something Coach Goodenough wanted to see, and really good to see that execution and get these players some experience.
Wildcats, too, pretty much a perfect average of 25 points per quarter. Deep 3-pull is off the mark, and the board pulled in by Jackson. She wants to push the floor up to Wernley, and a collision. Ball is still loose. Boy, in a really tough collision. We've got Johnson down for McMurray.
Yeah, and Chris, you love to see the hustle there, but obviously the contact cannot feel too good, but she gets up and a little smile as she's walking over to the bench with her coaches.
Shocked her a little bit.
Good
She'll
to see that
check
she's
out.
okay.
Yeah. Warhawks will make a substitution as we come to a bit of a stop with 2:52 left. And slowly trying to get things back in action. Let's take a look at the WAC standings with ACU right in the middle of the pack. Everybody coming to a halt with where we are. 2 quick games in conference play a few weeks ago, and then once the calendar year turns to 2024, we will be back to all systems go in the Western Athletic Conference. ACU getting things going against UTRGV, Texas Rio Grande Valley. That'll be on January 6th. Five on the shot clock for the Warhawks. Tough wraparound and underhand shot left short. And Tristan Keller holds in the board.
Great defense there by the Wildcats, causing McMurray not to be able to get a good shot off. Approaching the end of the shot clock there.
Exposito Perez with it. Driving baseline up top. Tristan Keller for 3. Got it! TK's first points of the season. And it sends the Wildcats bench into an eruption. 88 for the Wildcats tonight, and a big one for ACU.
Keller, very athletic in high school at Mason High School in Mason, Texas. She lettered in 6 sports and was a 3-time All-State player, leading her team to two state appearances there in Mason. Super athletic and a big 3 there to put her first 3 points up on the season for her. Great job by Keller.
Points for all but 2 tonight for ACU. Hornley bumped on the drive. Minute 21 to go in the final quarter. Hey, Wildcat fans, there's the Julie Goodenough Show. Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN+. Catch all the latest news and hear our conversations with the head coach, the ACU women's basketball program, Julie Goodenough. Go all throughout state of the program and what's to expect and what's to come. That's again Wednesdays, 9 a.m. Central on ESPN+. Loose ball knocked out of bounds. It'll go back to McMurray. A little over a minute to go in tonight's game.
As we approach the end of this game, a couple takeaways for McMurray. They turned the ball over a little too much. Coach Drew Long will look to lessen those turnovers, but get a big bucket there and the and one. Number 14, Kristen Salas.
Salas, the 5'11" guard slash forward. Tough contact and a tough finish underneath. Heads to the stripe for 1. And she got it.
Lots of shots from the line for both teams. Both teams have shot 11 each. ACU making 8 of them. McMurray One up again by making 9.
Wornley will pull from 3. Yes! The freshman Gracie Wornley with her second 3 to go down. She's got 8 tonight. Warhawks with it for one of the final times tonight. So shot goes off the backboard, no good. Troxel pulls in the board. 42nd board tonight for ACU. They've limited McMurry to 30. And with the shot clock turned off, Tristan Keller can kill the remainder of tonight's contest and looks to do so. A 91-55 final for the Wildcats tonight. They break the 500 mark and improve to 5-4 on the season. Just the second loss of the year for D3 McMurray playing D1 ACU tonight, and a 91-55 final score in Moody Coliseum tonight. Jaden, as we begin to start to shut some things down, it was what we expected, but again, the takeaway from tonight's game, really good to see both teams test out a lot of different things out on the floor tonight.
Good to see the depth off this Wildcats roster, and really good to see the grit and the toughness from Drew Long's McMurray team. A really good homecoming for Drew Long, coming back to Moody, back to ACU to coach this McMurray roster. I think they played really hard and a really good look for what's to come in conference for both teams.
And again, we talked about it, games like this can really spark a team, get a lot of shooters going, and get a lot of different aspects for your team going. So definitely good to see that as we're so close to conference play.
Yeah, it really is. And like we said, to get that experience for those girls off the bench, you never know if injuries happen or what's going to happen. And so conference play, you might be in a bind, and some of these girls may come in and make a really big impact, like athletic players like Keller and Wornley and Claire Grimm, obviously making a big impact in the game today, and we look forward to seeing them here in the latter part of the season.
Wildcats with a 91-55 win tonight over McMurray. As we look at some of our scores tonight, Bella Earl with 17, but we've got Addison Martin joining us now. As Addison, chance for you to, again, games like this against a team like D3 McMurray, a lot of activity out on the floor tonight, but a really good night for you. What did you enjoy most about tonight?
Honestly, I think I just enjoyed playing my teammates out there tonight. I mean, we were on a 2-game losing streak, so we just wanted to come up here and have fun and get a win, you know, just get back on the winning streak and just keep going. The
last game for you against TCU, feels like a long time ago. You're able to come back to Moody Coliseum. What were you looking forward to returning home?
Honestly, just be able to play at home in front of our fans. We were on the road for a long, long time, so obviously we were ready to get back home and just play in front of the people we love.
Again, able to, you talk about a lot of different faces out on the floor for you. When you're on the bench and you're with your teammates and you're watching the other faces out there get some playing time, what did you enjoy most about that?
Honestly, cheering them on. You know, when they score, they do something big or just play great defense. We love just being their biggest cheerleaders, because that's what we do. We are just each other's biggest cheerleaders.
Tonight seems like a lot of fun. What do you enjoy most about this team?
My teammates. They make it so much fun. I mean, we wouldn't be able to get through what we do without each other, so definitely them.
Taking this away is now you get to go back on the road. Another little bit of a break, but what are you looking forward to now as you have to go back on the road? Western Kentucky next for you.
Honestly, just transitioning like what we did good into Western Kentucky, and just going out there and playing hard and get us another win before we have to come back and play Louisiana Tech.
Addison Martin, appreciate your time tonight and best of luck moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. Big night for Addison Martin tonight, and the Wildcats as a whole with a 91-55 win over in-town opponent McMurray. And that'll do it for us tonight. This has been a presentation on ESPN Plus of Western Athletic Conference Women's Basketball. For Jaden West, Joshua Varner on the sideline, Jalen Garrett back in the studio, and our entire ACU TV crew, that'll do it from us from Moody Coliseum. So long and have a good night from Abilene, Texas.